All right, we are live. Once again, it is November 2nd, 2020. I am here with Mr. Boogie Hollis. Boogie Hollis, thank you again for joining me on our fifth episode of Sports Talk with Boog and Lou. Um, Again, we want to thank our previous guests last week, the Married to the Mets family, and even the week before, Mr. Justin Schmeck himself. We will be having a new guest next week, so prepare for newcomers coming onto the show. All right, Boog, I'm going to get right into it, Boogie. Tell me, man, Mr. Stephen Cohen bought your New York Mets today. Officially bought your New York Mets. So what
That's
does this
right. That's right.
right? So what does this mean for the Mets franchise, and what does this mean for the Mets in general? Like, what do you expect Stephen Cohen to be doing with the Mets, and compared to the Wilpons? Like, what do you really expect the difference there is going to be?
Well, first of all, I mean, you have to be excited just off rip because the Wilpons are gone. So now
Right.
we have a new start. We got somebody that has money, so you can't complain about being broke or trying to be stingy with his cash. So right there, that's exciting on its own. And then he's a lifelong Mets fan. Him and his family's a lifelong Mets fan. So you can't beat that. So on top of that, he kind of gives you that Mark Cuban type of vibe. You know, like he's gonna be like a fan, not a fan favorite, or maybe he's trying to be into that type of role where he wants to connect with the fans. Because I don't know if you've seen that
He did the
he has a
Twitter
Twitter
thing,
account.
right?
Yeah, and he was inactive, like really. I think he opened his Twitter like 2017, and then all of a sudden, now that he got this team, now all of a sudden he's interacting with fans. So he's trying to get a feel with the fans of seeing what like advice, like as if he's really going to take the fans' advice. But he's going down that line of interacting with the fans and stuff like that, which is cool. I mean, he's showing excitement as far as he can't wait to free agency. He wants to dive right into free agency. So I mean, he's saying all the right things. I mean, every time a new exec joins the reins, they always give you the song and dance and the false
Of
hope.
course.
But I mean, right now it seems like when you got a guy it seems like he's fully vested as far as especially like he's saying that he's a Met fan. You gotta like have that hope and hope that he drives and try to get us to what we're looking for, to be relative, to be competitive instead of the team that's always second nature, like always looking to the Yankees like that. I wish we can do that. Hopefully now we have an opportunity to be put in a situation to allow us to win. Like give us a shot.
Right
So
now,
that's kind of what the Cohen breath of fresh air is doing for us as a Met fan base.
So let me ask you, as a Mets fan, though. So this year was obviously a little bit disappointing, right? 8 teams from each conference were able to make the playoffs this year, and the Mets failed to make the playoffs. So do you think that Steve Cohen is going to be using this as motivation? Like, we need more for the New York Mets than just what the team is now. Like, it wasn't the coaching, it was ownership. So let's really get out there. Let's really start trying to find the right people to fit New York, and then go on from there and make this team a contender team. I mean, listen, you have probably one of the best starting pitchers in baseball, if not the best starting pitcher in baseball. And Jacob deGrom's already said he wants to be a Met forever. So
Right.
why, you don't want to see someone like that with that much talent actually leave because or not want to play with the Mets anymore, because then what happens? Then the whole dynasty and the whole franchise starts collapsing, and then it looks bad. So this is a great thing for Met fans, and I'm happy for you guys, even though I'm a diehard Yankee fan.
Right.
It's nice to see that you have somebody who is taking opinions, but the only thing you got to be careful about is that that would be like a manager asking his team, "Hey guys, how should I be managing this team too?"
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, I think he's just really like just giving the approach of being interactive with the fans and stuff like that. I don't think he's actually gonna take advice from fans to implicate that into what he's gonna do with the team. But I mean, you got to look at it too when you're talking about the disappointment as a Met fan. We had Stroman who opted out for the season. I mean, he's still
Right.
nursing a calf injury and stuff like that.
Cespedes
So
too.
I mean, he was, like, well, I'm gonna start at the pitching first, but like, with Stroman, he wasn't there. Noah Syndergaard got hurt, so those are two key pieces to our rotation that we missed. But then when we got Peterson to pitch, a rookie out of nowhere, he ended up doing a decent job. So now
Yeah,
he could be
he
a
did.
piece that we can use for next season. And then obviously, you got DeGrom. Matz has shown that he just can't be trusted, honestly. So I
You need to
mean,
trade Mets.
so
Mets needs to
right,
go, in my opinion.
right. So at the end of the day, if you're talking about Stroman, Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Peterson, that's a nice little four right there to work with. And then whoever we're gonna piece together for the fifth rotation. And then, like you said, Cespedes. I mean, that was an obvious flop. So I mean, we
What a
expected a lot, but
fucking
that
shit
opened up.
show Cespedes has
Yeah,
been.
but you know what though? At the end of the day, that opened up the door for Dominic Smith, because Dominic Smith wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to do what he was going to do if Cespedes was playing, and Dominic Smith showed out this season.
That's
So
very true, right?
that's a great positive. Another young cat who's struggling to find a position to play in. Now,
Right.
now he's fortified on the team as a bona fide hitter now. So we
Right.
got a lot of pluses to look forward to, like the youth and everything. But now it's more than just those possibilities. Now with Cohen stepping in, now we have an opportunity to sign actual free agents, because if I'm not mistaken, I think we're not resigning Rojas. I mean, not Rojas. Who's our catcher? We're not
Ramos. Wilson,
yeah.
Ramos, yeah.
Right, we're not re-signing him and stuff like that. And there's some catching free agents that's out there. I mean, I'm hoping he's not going to overpay for like with Real Muto.
Real Muto wants a $200 million contract.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I'm
not.
hoping
He's
he
not
don't
worth
do
that
that.
money.
Right, I'm hoping he doesn't do that. But the fact that now we're in the game.
Yeah.
Now as a Met fan, you say, oh well, I know we're not going to have a chance for that guy. Now we're going to have a different outlook. Now, it's like it gives you a new energy. So as a Met fan, you're excited just to have new management like this. So
no,
like
and you have somebody who seems that they want to spend money. It's more than just a business. He's looking as players are the business, rather than wanting to save money on payroll like a lot of these other ownerships and organizations want to do. They want to pay as little as possible, but get the biggest buck. But sometimes you can't do that. Now you have people like Trevor Bauer who are free agents. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton technically had an opt out. He could have, but he actually decided to sign back he's going to stay with the Yankees, which is great, because in my opinion, I think Stanton proved himself this playoffs alone, that as long as he stays healthy, he's a threat. So I'm really happy with that as a Yankee.
And I like how Omar said in the comments, now is the time to buy exactly what we need, instead of trying to get bargain chips. Guys that are halfway out the door, or overpaying for somebody that don't deserve the money. Now is the chance. So we need a catcher. Go get a catcher that we need.
Right.
Not an over a hill guy. So Omar, that's definitely exactly what the doctor ordered as far as what Cohen needs to do. Get people that we need.
Correct.
So that's exciting.
Right. So let's take the topic with baseball real quick. So last week we said that the Dodgers, I think it was actually you, Boogie. You said the Dodgers were going to win in 6 or 5. Was that you?
Did. Yes, I did.
You did. Boogie said the Dodgers would win in 6. I said the Rays were going to win in 7. The Dodgers wound up winning in 6. So congrats to the Los Angeles Dodgers for winning the 2020 COVID World Series.
And to my expertise.
And to your expertise, obviously, you should be an ESPN analyst just for that alone.
I'm a New York sports analyst, so that's fine.
Right, that's fine. We get paid the same. So here's the thing that I want to talk about, and that's right, Justin, you did say 6 also. So there's one thing I want to talk about with the Dodgers winning the World Series. So 3rd time they've made the World Series in 4 years. It would have been a very big disappointment if they didn't win the World Series, in my opinion. So I'm kind of glad that they did. I like Mookie Betts as a player. I like Clayton Kershaw as a player. They both deserve it, right? I mean, listen, Mookie's won with the Red Sox already, but I'm glad that Clayton Kershaw has that title under his belt now, and he pitched phenomenal in the World Series, in my opinion. So I'm really happy for that.
That's the thing with Kershaw. He's always had the accolades for regular season. He's always he's a shoe-in Hall of Famer. So he's always shown that he's a great pitcher. But he always, once the playoffs start, is like he disappears. But this particular playoffs, he showed out. He showed out for them. So it's like now he actually put a trophy on his mantle saying, hey, I won 2. Now that's not like one of those talking pieces like, yeah, he was great, but he could never win. He's not good enough to win. He finally won. So that right there, if you're a baseball fan, that's great to watch.
You're happy for a player like that. Yeah. And he's not like a bad guy outside. You never hear anything about Clayton Kershaw. The only thing that I will say during that I, when I watched that game 6, was that Blake Snell was pitching a hell of a game. He was only at 78 pitches. He had 5.2 innings in. and they pulled him with only one runner on because the coach said that he didn't want them to see a third time around. Listen, again, and we spoke about this last week with Omar and Dave, you know, Dennis. Analytics can only help you so much. When someone's hot, I don't understand why people just don't leave in their players once in a while. Like just to, sometimes it's not about analytics. The guy had 9 strikeouts in 5 innings. Like, let him keep doing what he's doing. You saw the frustration that Blake Snell wanted, and I wouldn't be surprised.
As a competitor, and he's a Cy Young Award guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on,
and he's pitching a hell of a game.
If you're not going to trust him to win or lose the game at that point in time, then who are you going to do? So now at the end of the day, it's like if you're just going to go by numbers, then why do you have a job? Like, a computer can do this. Anybody can do that. Like go by the strict numbers and stuff like that. As a manager, you're supposed to have a feel. You're supposed to, put in your own personality. You're supposed to use your smarts or your experience as a baseball guy. But if you're going by just numbers, taking this guy out after he already struck the top 3 of the batting order out both times he
struck out the side twice.
You just take him out. Right. You just take him out just because the numbers say I think we should take him out. Like, you saw as soon as he went up there to take him out, you saw the dugout light up on in LA.
He was
lit up, like, yes.
Yeah,
get this guy out of here.
Once Snell was out,
the stupidest move I've ever seen in my life.
Once Snell was out, I said this game is over. Is over. Just stop. Just stop. It's just so stupid. And the coach said that they've been doing this all year. They wanted to stick with the game plan. Well, you know what? Right. You're facing elimination in the World Series. It's time to fucking change it up a little bit and trust that your AL Cy Young Award winner from 2 years ago can get you out of a mess when you weren't even in a mess. Like, you had one runner on and you were up 1-0. You have 78 pitches. The guy can throw 110, 120 pitches. It's the last time he's pitching it for the year anyway. Just fucking let him keep going. Listen, I'm not a coach, but sometimes it's just off of your gut. The guy, it wasn't even like they were hitting him hard. They were striking out. So
as a baseball fan, it was very frustrating to watch. It was frustrating.
It was just like, all right, well, this is over. Dodgers are winning. That's just how it was. And then Mookie sealed the deal when he hit a solo home run in the 8th to make it 3-1, 4-1, and then that was it. Everyone knew it was over. There was no coming back from that. That's it.
Nope.
So, but anyways, congrats to LA Dodgers. The only thing that I also want to talk about real quick with baseball, and I want to hear everyone else's opinion too on this, was that Justin Turner got diagnosed with COVID in the middle of the game and he got pulled. But he also ran out on the field after with, hugging and celebrating with his team. And I get that. But if you're Justin Turner, like, you're not technically supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? Like now you're the disease is more crazier than winning the World Series, in my opinion, right now. And now you're putting so many other people into effect. And now, in my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if MLB does something to maybe possibly suspend Justin Turner for a couple of games or fine him for what he did. I want to know your opinion about that, Bug.
Well, like I said, he probably was caught up in a moment and of winning because he was part of that LA team that kept failing. And like once he left New York, once he left the Mets, because remember he's a former Met. So once he left the Mets and just jumped into a winning situation with the Dodgers, they just kept failing. So, he was part of that team of building up and getting the win, But
I get it. But
that situation is very tough because, like you said, like he's with his brethrens, and he probably is one of those lucky ones that has COVID and don't have any symptoms of it.
Any symptoms or anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he probably just jumped out there, and excitement. But at the end of the day, that's just showing not being responsible or showing love for your teammates or yourself because, you're endangering the lives of others. And like a lot of people take this for granted, which is the reason why this disease continues to spread the way it is now. But like I said, like I wasn't there, so I can't really, say, the malice of the situation, but I'm pretty sure it was that he got caught up in the excitement. And then now he's probably kicking himself like, dang, like
I would have been okay with it if he was wearing like a hazmat suit and he jumped in, I would have been okay with that, because at least like he's like protecting himself. But no, listen, we've known people personally who have died from COVID, so it's not something to just joke around about, or you win the World Series, like it's time, like I don't give a shit, like no, because then what if someone gets sick and then they get other people sick, and so it's a whole big chain. So it was stupid in my opinion. And yeah, that's true too, Omar. He did already expose them, but he also now might have exposed to the cameraman, the reporters, other people who were on the field. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, just go away. Like, it's like, you won the World Series. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your team, but do
Right.
better. He should have been smarter
Right.
about that. Okay, so
Right.
to go into some football, and I'm gonna talk about the Cowboys real quick. Because they are the most recent topic for debate, and I can't help but to look at this meme that I have right here. Like, if this meme doesn't explain the Dallas Cowboys right now in one word, I don't know what else does. So here's the thing with the Cowboys. If you think that Dak Prescott can't help this team now, you're crazy. You're crazy, because this team is so bad. They are worse than any team in the NFC East, and they're probably the second worst team in the league, if you ask me, behind the New York Jets. They looked awful yesterday. Yeah, exactly. Right. They looked awful yesterday. They couldn't score a touchdown. This is the third game this year now they haven't scored. The second game this year they haven't scored a touchdown without Dak Prescott. It is just atrocious. And I want to hear your opinions on this book. Like, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan right now, what is going through your mind if you are a Cowboys fan?
Well, as a Cowboys fan, I mean, I don't know, like the older Cowboys fans who used to talk a lot of junk because they used to be like the NFC gods, and
Right.
now they haven't even sniffed any success in a very, 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 very long time. Now, me being a Giants fan, obviously, I have zero cares about their troubles because as a Giant fan, I got my own troubles.
We got our own
you know,
fucking troubles.
we've won
Right.
more. We've won more recently than they have. But at the end of the day, like they got a lot of talent. They got Ezekiel Elliott. They got Dak. Like they got
Amari
talent.
Cooper, CJ,
Right. They
CD
got talent.
Lamb.
But but the thing is, this team has always had talent. They always had talent. They always had a nice quarterback. They always had a nice, like
It's like the
nucleus.
Browns.
They usually their offensive line was always their calling card. But
Right.
now it's just like nothing is meshing for this team. But then nothing is meshing for this entire division. Because if you watch that game, that was a terrible game. Wentz played just as bad. Like that, the Eagles aren't even that good. They played a bad Giants team.
Eagles are horrendous.
They played
Eagles
a
are just
bad
as bad.
Cowboys team. Like this is an atrocious division. Like it's bad, and the Cowboys are definitely downward spiraling because the Giants were definitely the worst team in the division at one point, but
Right. Yeah.
they're not now. They're not now. I mean,
I'm telling you.
I know Dalton was out. They got the rookie. Even the rookie took him out. Oh, the NFL was hard. Like, duh. Like, like what did you expect?
No,
So,
here's the thing.
like,
I honestly think, and I'm not trying to be biased, if there was a Super Bowl right now, and the last four teams in the Super Bowl was the AFC East, the NFC East, I think the Giants are the better team in that whole division right now. If you put
the
the same
Giants could
roster,
definitely defeat them right now.
yeah,
Right
100%.
now, they could defeat them. Because remember, with Dak Prescott, they almost won that game, but then Dalton threw some amazing passes at the end.
Right.
But the Giants right now are definitely looking like a better team than Cowboys, but that's not really saying much.
No, it's not saying much at all.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as the worst, yeah, I mean, right now, Cowboys look bad. So their defense is atrocious. Just
their
like
defense
the
is so bad. It's unreal how bad.
Crazy.
The passing game, the running game, they can't stop anything. They couldn't stop a
Right.
cold.
Now Ezekiel Elliott's getting exposed now. Like he has talent, but now you got no quarterback. His receivers, like nobody's getting action on the offense at all. So that shows you that's why football is a different animal. It don't matter how much talent you got at one position. That's a team sport.
Well, look, it's the same thing with the Giants.
But exactly, like Saquon Barkley, like he's not trash, but if the team is trash, then you're gonna look trash.
Right.
I mean, the only guy that defied the odds was Sanders on the Lions. Like
Barry Sanders, yeah, but that's because he was a beast in himself. He just outran, overpowered everything.
Unhuman. He was unhuman.
Listen, it's the same thing right now with the Giants. Like Saquon Barkley's out, the whole team is on Daniel Jones. It's the same thing with the Cowboys. The whole team is on Ezekiel Elliott right now. So he's getting a ton of pressure. The Cowboys, in my opinion, listen, this is what I think you do. If you're the Cowboys right now, all right. So the Jets are, in my opinion, going to go 0-16, right? They're going to go 0-16. They're probably going to get the first pick in the draft. If they get the first pick in the draft and Trevor Lawrence decides to go into the draft, the Jets are going to draft him, right? We all know that. So if the Jets draft Trevor Lawrence and I'm the Dallas Cowboys right now, you know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to call the New York Jets right now and offer a trade for Sam Darnold, in my honest opinion.
But he's not better than Dak Prescott.
No, but as a Dallas Cowboys, you have a chance to still win this division. So you want to try to win this division, or you're going to let the Eagles take it, being 6-10, 6-9-1?
I hear you. I hear where you're arriving from, but the thing is, right? If there was let's just say that the Jets were dumb enough to do something like that, which it's not out of the realm of possibility. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that they were going to trade Darnold to them. Obviously, it would have to be for some high picks, right?
Correct.
You're not gonna spend high picks just to get out of the first round. Because let's just say it worked and they won the division. Who are they defeating in the first round?
No, that's true.
They know they're not there. So you're not gonna give up your future just to say I went to the playoffs. I mean, any logical owner or front office would do that. So I'm saying, why would that even be worth the Cowboys to snatch up somebody like him to give up their future just to lose in the first round?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, listen. If I'm a Cowboys fan, we could still take this division. If you put a decent quarterback in there, you still have a lot of offensive tools to still work with. Like I said, you still got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. What's the other guy's name? The other guy. He had number 13. He had such an awesome game the other day too. But you have the weapons to do what you got to do and possibly make a run in the playoffs. I mean, but let's be honest, even with Dak Prescott, are the Cowboys right now a Super Bowl contender team? Probably not. I mean, the defense can't stop anyone. Michael Gallup. Yes, Gallup. Defense isn't stopping anybody. They're not doing anything. But I would hate to see the Eagles run away with this division with a losing record. And Carson Wentz is awful. I still think
terrible.
To this day, that the Philadelphia Eagles are kicking themselves for letting Nick Foles go and not trading for Carson Wentz. I mean, Nick Foles wins you a Super Bowl and you let him go the next year. I didn't understand
that. Going for the Bears. I mean, he got that Bear offense looking way better.
Way better than Mitch Trubisky.
That dude just throws anywhere. Like, he don't care.
Listen. Nick Foles is a good quarterback. He should have stayed with the Eagles. Wentz is a nightmare right now. He gets hurt. You know what? And I'm not saying this to knock on wood. I don't wish anybody to get hurt. Wentz gets hurt every year. I'm waiting for him to get tackled and him to get hurt. And then they're going to have the backup of the Eagles come in and then this whole division is just going to be a shit show. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. I mean, Wentz gets hurt every year. He's got hurt every single year that he's played.
Not even just Wentz.
So far.
Not even just Wentz. They decided to go get Deshaun Jackson back, and Deshaun Jackson, that dude can't stay healthy for nothing. He was out for the beginning of the season, arrives back, played 2 games. They had him on a minutes restriction, and he still got hurt.
Deshaun Jackson should have retired 3 years ago.
Right, exactly.
He should have retired.
And then they started running back. He got hurt. So it's like everybody gets hurt. The whole division should just retire. The
Implode.
Whole division.
The whole team. They should just burn it up and split up and have. I'd rather the Minnesota Vikings be taking the division right now at 2-5 than the freaking Eagles. At least the Vikings put up a fight against Green Bay yesterday and actually looked like a football team. It's bad. It's really bad out there. Okay, so
don't get Justin started about the Green Bay team.
Yeah, no, I know. Especially because they lost yesterday. I don't even want to hear his mouth right now because they lost. So to talk a little also about let's talk about the Jets, right? So the Jets yesterday. 19.5 spread. In my honest opinion, I thought they were going to cover it just because 19.5 is a lot, but of course they proved me wrong and they lose 35-9. They didn't score a touchdown for the 3rd game this season. They haven't scored a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. They barely even had to run the ball because they know they could throw the ball like crazy. I mean, Adam Gase, now your team is 0-8 and it's just it's embarrassing. Like your background says it all. 4-27 in 2 years with just NFL worst one.
You see Coach Tight right there grinning? That's Coach Tight in his living room grinning right now. They talking about, I was the worst, this, that, whatever. But look at them now. You know, this is exactly how bad this team is. This team is so bad they're being compared to the Rich Kotite era. Look at the
Right.
numbers in Rich Kotite era. Look at that. 427 in 2 years. 1
Right.
and 14 in 1996. Like, look how bad that team was. Look how bad this team is now. This
It's
team is
it's
terrible.
it's not
It's
even
hard to
funny.
watch, man.
And I
It's hard
really
to
do
watch.
feel bad for Sam Darnold because I really think he's better than this. But I think also, listen, if the Jets get the first round pick, like Omar and Davis was saying last week, that even if
Dennis,
Trevor Dennis, I keep calling him David. Dennis, even if Trevor Lawrence comes to the Jets next year, he's not throwing anyone. He's not making this team better. So if they're gonna trade Darnold, get some picks, get some young talent in there, and make this team enjoyable to watch because they are atrocious. You know, you see they got the blocked field goal with 2 seconds to
yeah,
go at the halftime. I was like, yep, that summons it
yeah,
up to make it, tight, just
yeah.
a little bit of a tighter game. It's so bad. I can't even watch that. Like I said, another non-touchdown game. I just, I
Can
hate,
we
I feel so bad for Jet fans right now.
can we address something that I actually seen on the page? I think it was yesterday.
What's that?
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell had a shot to play, right? Obviously, they didn't need him. But I
Right.
seen a Jet fan. I seen a Jet fan. You know, name still. I'll call you out. I seen him write on the page talking about, see, this is how you use Bell. Blah blah blah. And I'm looking. I'm like, did he just
He got
go
like
for
30
one play?
yards.
It was one play. It was one play where he had like 18 yards. Like he had 6 rushes for 7 yards. He had what 3 catches for 31 yards or something like that. And one of the catches was for like 18 yards. Like
Right.
this
No,
is
no,
and
listen.
didn't he fumble too?
Y-
Like,
Yeah, no, listen. Le'Veon
like
Bell wasn't needed for that kind of game. I'm not saying that Le'Veon Bell isn't going to be used. I still think he's going to be used, but Le'Veon Bell wasn't needed.
sorry, Rick.
He said, "Keep your mouth out of it." Yeah, he wasn't needed for that game yesterday. Patrick Mahomes could have had third string wide receivers in that game and still beat that team 35-9 yesterday. Like, I mean, it's they didn't need him yesterday. Le'Veon Bell probably wanted to show why they needed him, and I'm sure a lot of people picked him up in DraftKings yesterday. But
I don't know why.
yeah, right. But it wasn't needed. It just wasn't needed. When you have Patrick Mahomes completing 80% of his throws, you don't need to run. I mean, that's just simple as that. You don't need to run. And now, let me ask you, since our Giants didn't play, Giants play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight, right?
Tonight.
So tonight, so in like a half hour. How do you think this game is going to end up? Do the Giants give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a run for their money, or what's going on there?
No.
No,
I
no.
am a Giants fan through and through, and I know they're not winning. Now, I think the spread was like 13 and a half at the time that I was looking, and
Right.
13 and a half might not even do that justice. I think Tampa Bay covers that. If we got any more bettors out there, but I think Tampa Bay covers that. Nah,
I'm gonna say
man.
the Giants cover it tonight. I'm
Nah,
going
man.
to say the
I mean,
Giants cover it tonight.
obviously, I'm a Giants fan, and I'm rooting for them to win, obviously. But as a betting man, obviously, you know, Tampa Bay's winning.
I
I mean,
honestly think,
hey, you heard JPP talking trash to us? Like, this
yeah,
guy's
yeah,
been
I'm gonna show the
irrelevant.
Giants,
This guy's
blah blah
irrelevant.
blah.
He's irrelevant, and he's talking trash to us. So that
Well,
tells you how bad we are.
you know what, bro? Don't mess up your contract and blow up your hand while you're on a Super Bowl contending team, and then maybe we won't let you go for being a fucking jerk off. How about that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, how about that? I understand, like, he's upset with the Giants, but I honestly think the Giants cover this spread today, and I honestly think this is going to be a low-scoring game today. I think this is going to be
You mean a low scoring game for the Giants, right?
no. I think the
I,
final score of today's game is going to be 20-13 Tampa Bay. That is my opinion on that today. I really think that the Giants defense actually helps us out, and I think Daniel Jones throws for like 200 yards. I'm gonna say like 250. I'm gonna say 250. I'm gonna say 250. He's gonna throw for 250 today against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm gonna call that out right now. and I'm going to say they lose 20-13. Do you not like that?
You're definitely using your fandom. Is that the word?
My
Fandom?
fandom, my fandom.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you're doing right now. You're doing that. I'm being a realist. Like I said, I'm rooting for my team to win, but we're not going to win, and it's not going to be a close 20-13 game.
20-13. I'm calling it
No.
right now. 20-13. Okay.
Are you willing to put your money on it? Put your money on it in the chat. I'm pretty sure people will take that bet.
I'll bet you I'll bet you $10 that the Giants cover the spread today. I'll bet you $10 Giants cover the spread.
I'll take that bet.
I bet. All right, good.
Even though I'm betting against my own team, but hey, you want to give me $10?
All right. They're going to do that. Okay, perfect. So let me ask you, did you watch any of the Bills game yesterday?
Unfortunately.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I also want to talk about that AFC East division. Okay, so obviously the Jets still have a chance to win that division. But besides that fact, so that might have been one of the most boring games I watched yesterday too, with the Bills and the Patriots. Like Cam
Newton.
That
defensive green game that they put up? Oh man.
God. That game was so fucking boring. We have a ton of our fans on our page who are like, "Oh, I'm a Bills fan now, blah blah blah." Listen, I'm going to say it right now before you say anything. Josh Allen is not a top 5 MVP ballot anymore. Okay, I apologize for that. Josh Allen is a good quarterback, but he was playing against I think, not great defensive Patriots team, and he threw for 1 touchdown. He didn't throw for any touchdowns against the Jets the week before. Like you got to really kick your division team's ass to put your team on your back when stuff like that comes. And now Bill Belichick is 2-5, and we haven't seen Bill Belichick ever have a losing record. And Cam Newton looked like Cam Newton from 8 years ago, the first 2 games, and now these last 5 games, he looks like Cam Newton aged 40 years later. So if you're the Patriots,
I don't know what happened to Cam, man. What happened to Cam?
Ever since COVID.
Know what's funny? I was actually talking with people during that game, and a couple of them were actually Patriots fans, and actually one guy was a Panthers fan, which happened to be funny because they were going back and forth as far as talking about Cam Newton and what they expected in the game, and everything that they said was happening. They just said even towards the end of the game, they said, "Oh, Cam is going to find a way not to have this game won," and boy, did he ever. Did he let his team down or what? Again, I mean, that was his only turnover. Right. Even though he got bitched the last game for he threw 3 interceptions or something like that.
Right.
But that turnover right there, bro, that right there just shows what kind of season he's having. And then even at the end of the game, he's showing his positivity, talking about, "No, I seen the signs. We're getting better." I mean, what else he's going to say?
Right. He can't say anything. I mean, what else is he going to say? But here's the thing. Let's be realistic right now. The Bills are now 5-2. Your team is 2-5. You're not even in second place in your division. You have the Miami Dolphins, who are now 4-3, and even though there's 7 teams make the playoffs, you're running out of time. So it's enough bullshit from Cam Newton saying "Oh, we're gonna get better," blah blah. No, you're running out of time to make the playoffs. So stop the bullshit. You're washed up, Cam Newton. And I'm sorry to say that. You're washed up.
And like I said, the Bills were the only actual New York team in football. They actually have a chance to take this division with nobody.
No one to find them. No.
And they're not even playing. At the first 4 games, they played amazing. But the last 3 games, they're not playing that well. But they're good enough to win in that division because, like I said, ain't nobody else challenging them. I mean, Miami Dolphins, I mean, they're giving it the college try, but
right.
Well,
you know what? I will say, though, with the Dolphins, I actually like the move of putting Tua in, and here's my reasoning for that. Yes, the Dolphins were 3-3, right? They were 3-3. They still have a chance to make the playoffs. Why are we putting in Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick is not your future. It's Tua, right? So, and I think the Dolphins organization knows that they're not going anywhere this year, regardless if they make the playoffs or not. They know that, right? You have a very young team. Why not get your future quarterback ready for years and years to come instead of having him sit on the bench just to lose in the playoffs with Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's a reason why Ryan Fitzpatrick has never made the playoffs, okay? Because he's not a winning quarterback. He is a decent seasoned quarterback that gets his team just enough, but never into the playoffs. So they got him. He got him at 3-3. No problem. 3-3. Tua take over, learn from Ryan's mistakes. Tua had one interception, one fumble yesterday, but he threw for a touchdown and his defense helped them out. They won the game and they beat a pretty decent LA Rams team, which I didn't think that the Dolphins were going to beat the Rams. I mean,
first of all, did you watch that game? A lot of the scoring had nothing to do with Tua, to be honest.
No, I know. It was a lot of defensive stuff.
It was a lot of turnovers. It was a punt return. It was a lot of madness in that game.
Yeah.
I don't know. That game was shocking. Luckily, I had Miami defense in one of my fantasy leagues, so that's
good. That's good. Yeah, that's real good. But
outside of that, they messed up my parlay because I definitely picked the Rams in my parlay.
In the parlay, yeah, they fucked up your parlay for sure. So here's the thing, though, is that if Tua is not on the field, it's like a chain reaction, right? Like they don't run certain plays, certain things don't happen. So we kind of can't say that like, oh, Tua didn't do anything, because if you don't run certain plays, then the chain reaction just doesn't happen, right? We don't know if the defensive touchdowns happen or the fumbles happen. We don't know what happens. All we know is that Tua started and they won the football game, and that's how it should be. And speaking of, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to talk in the comments. If you have any questions that we are going to discuss as well. But Boogie and I also, we talked a little bit. We're going to start doing a top 10 every week. So right now, Boogie, are you ready for our top 10 quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah, we could do that. Start from 10 to 1.
Start from 10 and work our way all the way to number 1. Okay, so guys in the comments, whoever's watching right now, if you want to put your top 10 quarterbacks into the comment section, please feel free. All right, Boogie, so number 10, do you have this written down or are you just going to tell me?
Well, in my top 10, I had Josh Allen down there as top 10 because I actually had him higher, but he dropped down. He dropped down the last couple of games. He definitely dropped down to 10. And actually, I actually was trying to decide whether I wanted him or Drew Brees in my top 10. You know what I'm saying? So at 10, it was between Josh Allen and Brees. The reason why I kind of left Brees out because he's like leading the league in a percentage, like completion percentage, but it's all like little short yardage games. You know what I'm saying? Like he does a lot of short yardage stuff now. He hasn't been throwing the bombs that he used to do in the past. So his numbers are a little, a little disguised. So, but Josh Allen, I mean, he's leading a team to lead a division. So that got to count for something, even though the division is not that good. But like I said, the first 4 games, I said earlier, he definitely was proven to be a solid quarterback. But now he's kind of like the league is kind of caught up to him. The scouting report is kind of caught up to him. So I think he went down to like number 10 on my top 10.
So Josh Allen is your number 10. Okay. My number 10, Deshaun Watson. Okay. I'm doing Deshaun. I don't know why it's not taking there we go. Deshaun Watson is my number 10. The reason why I have Deshaun Watson number 10, Deshaun Watson, you're only as good as your team, right? Deshaun Watson doesn't have a lot of offensive people helping him out right now. He's on a very bad offensive and defensive team. But Deshaun Watson is a star, okay? He's going to be the franchise for the Houston Texans for a long time. I really do think Deshaun Watson belongs as a top 10 quarterback. And I mean, he puts up good numbers still, just that he has no one to really support. I mean, like when your number 1 is Will Fuller and Phil's as your tight end, it's really hard to kind of get going as far as being a top team, let alone a top quarterback. So I'm going to give Deshaun Watson as my number 10 for in the NFL. Number 9, what about you?
Number 9, I'm going with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he's shown. I looked at the stats too. I mean, I think he's having a pretty damn good season this year, especially compared to last season. But obviously, the addition of Hopkins is definitely helping him. Right. But when you look at the stats, he has an amazing week, and then he has a subpar week, and then he has an amazing week, and then he has a subpar week. So he hasn't shown the consistency yet to be an elite quarterback. So, like I say, he uses his legs, he stays in the pocket. So he's definitely well balanced. I can see the potential in him. He's like I said, Arizona is definitely a very improved team. But
Right.
like I said, Hopkins is definitely, his safety. So
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
Kyler Murray number 9 for me because he's off and on.
My number 9, Josh Allen. Okay, Josh Allen was in my top 5 up until this week, but Josh Allen has shown that he's starting to get tired. He couldn't even score a touchdown against the winless Jets. He could only throw one touchdown last week as well. I really think Josh Allen needs to improve a little bit more. He came out super hot, but I do
Right.
think Josh Allen is an elite quarterback, and he will be with the Buffalo Bills franchise for probably the remainder, for a very long time, at least anyway.
Right.
Okay. So number 8, I'm going to start off with this one with number 8. I'm going Big Ben, baby, Ben Roethlisberger. And my reasoning for that, he's the only quarterback with an undefeated record right now, right? Yes, his defense got him a touchdown last week against the Ravens, but Ben Roethlisberger has been throwing everyone on his team the ball. It's not just to Smith-Schuster has the 4th most touchdowns on the team compared to Claypool, compared to my God, I can't just say name Deontay William Johnson, and compared to James Conner. He's thrown more reception touchdowns to James Conner this year than he has to Schuster. So I honestly think that Big Ben is back to where he is. He is an elite quarterback. I really do think Big Ben deserves to be in the top 10 for this year, especially because 37 is not stopping him. He's still going, and he's still proving that he's a winner.
Right.
Who's your number 8?
Number 8, I'm going with Matt Ryan. The Falcons as a team is very wishy-washy, but he's actually second in yardage in the league behind Russell Wilson. So he's definitely has taken control of the team because he's literally the team. If you took Falcons, he's the team. So Matt Ryan, he went to the number 8 spot.
See, I wish Matt Ryan would do better for his sake, because I feel bad for Matt Ryan as a player, because he got to the Super Bowl. They should have won that Super Bowl against the Patriots. His defense fucked it up for him. And you have people on your team like Todd Gurley and Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, and you guys are 2-5. Like, it's just like I feel bad for him because he's had some really good games and they've lost. So I actually had Matt Ryan as number 11, but this is top 10.
Okay.
So, yeah. Number 7, I have Lamar Jackson at number 7. And
so do I.
Do you really? Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Yes, I do. Yes,
number
I do.
7. Lamar Jackson he is just, listen, great quarterback, not elite quarterback right now, in my opinion. Yes, he deserved MVP last year, 100%. But this year has shown that they're starting to figure him out a little bit, and he's not throwing as many touchdowns and not running as many touchdowns. And in fact, he's not even the lead rusher in as far as like quarterbacks go. Like there have been games where Daniel Jones has done better than him, and there have been games where Patrick Mahomes has run more than him.
But he is getting rushing touchdowns, and he's definitely using his legs way more than he's using his arm. Because right now he's definitely the quarterback that's doing more running than passing. Because his passing is very minuscule. It's not even like middle of the pack passing numbers, but his running numbers, he might not be leading, but he's up there because he's definitely using his legs and helping that offense go on his legs. Obviously, that's not a winning formula. So that's why I'm looking to see if he's going to like improve as time goes this year. But you know what I'm saying? His team is not doing terrible, but he's using all legs this year right now, which is not a winning combination, especially for his health. So
listen,
that's why he got him in second also.
When he was a rookie, he used his legs more, and they told him he had to throw. When he started throwing a lot last year is when he won the MVP, and now he's resulting back into running because they figured him out on the passing game. So now it's about finding that balance, and I just think, like Justin said, I really think that Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback, but he's not elite, great quarterback just yet, and that's my opinion. All right, number 6, Boogie. Who's your number 6?
I got Tom Terrific, Mr. Tom Brady.
Mr. Tom Brady. I have Mr. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray. All right, I'm going to tell you.
I got Brady at 6 because, obviously, by name, He's a great and everything. But he started the season off slow. Obviously, that's to be expected because he's in a brand new organization, brand new team. But he's definitely he had to have had an hand in some of the personnel picks, bringing Gronkowski back into the mix. As you can see now, Gronk is starting to get into the mix. He got his favorite target on his team. Now they got AB. So now AB joins he's surrounded by talent right now. He's definitely set himself to have a great run in the playoffs. So right now, I mean, he's definitely the leader of the team. You know, I mean, he's not doing past Brady numbers yet right now.
Right.
But he has an amazing team. His defense is amazing. You know, so he's got, you know, things going on both sides of the football at the moment. So he's, like I said, he's my 6 right now. I mean, because he's not elite as far as the elite quarterbacks are, like numbers wise. But obviously, you're scared of Brady when you have to face him as a defense.
Right. I'm telling you, I agree with you 100%. I'm going with Kyler Murray at number 6, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Yes, he has some on and off games, but Kyler Murray has successfully had 4 touchdowns in every single game that he's played so far, whether it's throwing or running, right? That is very hard to do as a quarterback. And this is his second year in the league, right? Second year in the league, it shows that he can, especially with someone like DeAndre Hopkins. Listen, he doesn't have a good wide receiver 1 and 2. He just has a really good 1. His 2 is Kirk. Or you could even say Fitzgerald. I would even put Fitzgerald as his 3.
Fitzgerald's the 3. He's the 3.
Right. So Kirk is there too, right? So they're not like the best 2 wide receiver 1 and 2 that they have, but yet he's still making plays. He's making Kenyon Drake better. He's making DeAndre Hopkins better, in my opinion, too, and he's making Kirk better.
Let
me tell you.
I think Hopkins is making him better. To be honest with you, I think it's the other way around as far as that.
No, you gotta watch some of the throws that Kyler Murray has done. He is accurate as fuck. I'm telling you, Kyler Murray next year. This is going to be in the top 3 next year. I'm telling you right now. This is going to be in the top 3 next year. I can see that,
but we're talking about right now. I can see that, but right
and that's why he's 6. That's why he's my 6. Yeah.
It's inconsistent to me, you know.
Okay, that's fine, but I think he's going to be a beast.
I think
he's better than Lamar. I think he's better than Lamar Jackson, and
he will be.
He's the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL right now. In my opinion, I mean, and that's just he gets out of everything. He's so tiny. He just gets out of every single thing that comes to him. He rarely gets sacked. I love this kid.
Yeah,
I love Kyler
Justin basically said what I was saying. Like you said, he had that 8-23 game. Like I said, there's games where he's definitely not accurate. Like I don't know if you watched the games, but he's accurate at times.
Right, he had 8-23.
He's not accurate, you know.
But he ran for 2 touchdowns and threw for 2 touchdowns with that 8-23. That's what I'm getting at. He still makes it work.
What I'm trying to, but that's not really saying, like, if you watch the game, he struggled that game. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. Like you can't just go by numbers. You have to actually go by the look of how it happened. You know what I'm saying? Because you could go with Deshaun Watson. Like I'm gonna get into Deshaun Watson later, but you could look at Deshaun Watson's numbers. You know,
right?
That's definitely numbers you're looking on paper, but watch the game. It's a completely different animal.
Kyler Murray is better than Deshaun Watson.
He's good though. He's good.
He's good. All right, who's your number 5?
Deshaun Watson. That's why I wanted to get into that. Right. Now,
Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill.
Let me tell you about Deshaun Watson. You're right as far as his team. His team is definitely trash. His team is a product of his numbers. I say that because that team is always trailing. So when you got a team that's always trailing and their defense is always giving up points, guess what? You got to let it fly. And Deshaun Watson is letting it fly. His numbers are up there. And he's second in league in yards, whatever. So he's letting it fly. But a lot of his information and stats are in garbage time or in trying to catch up, you know. So it's a little inflated. But I mean, at the end of the day, look at the Jets. Like, look at all the other teams that are bad, that are trailing all the time. They're not throwing inflated numbers. So you got to give him some type of credit because he is making something happen just so that they're in games. You know,
right.
Like you can't say Texan games are boring because you know Watson's going to put his numbers up.
Well, they're boring the first 2 quarters, and then after they're down by
right, and then exactly.
and he
then,
starts coming
you can
back.
tell that people involved because he don't look at the terrible trade that they did for that poor guy. Who does he got to throw to? Who does he got to hand the football off to? You know. So
No
the fact that he's
one.
putting numbers up like that and he got nobody, that should tell you that the guy is talented himself. You
Yeah.
know.
No,
So
he's good.
that's
He's
why
good.
I put him up so high.
All right. Well, my number 5 is Ryan Tannehill. Okay. And my reason for that is that Ryan Tannehill, up until last week, because Patrick Mahomes threw for 5 touchdowns, Ryan Tannehill had similar numbers than Patrick Mahomes his last 16 games playing with the Tennessee Titans. Okay. This showed that Adam Gase almost got this poor bastard. Adam Gase almost ruined a career for somebody who is talented enough like Ryan Tannehill, who is making A.J. Brown a star. He's making Davis a star. He's literally a phenomenal football player, and I wish I saw this more of him when he was in Miami. And I am so glad that Ryan Tannehill got a second chance to really put a team on his back, and the Titans got rid of Marcus Mariota because Mariota wasn't doing shit with the Titans.
Right.
And now they're a contender team. Derrick Henry is finally in his prime. He's finally showing why he won the Heisman 4 or 5 years ago. This is a complete player with a very good offensive team, and I would love to see Ryan Tannehill keep going and striding and showing what he's really capable of. And that's my opinion. Number 4, Boogie. I have Mr. Aaron Rodgers as number 4. Who's your number 4?
I have Ryan Tannehill as number 4.
Ryan Tannehill.
I put Ryan Tannehill number 4 just off the strength, like obviously because he's got his team winning and like everything that you just said. But he also has 3 fourth quarter comebacks, and he also has 4 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. So that alone is showing that he has a clutch gene. So he's showing a clutch gene that he never showed in the past. So it's tough saying that Ryan Tannehill has jumped this high on my list, but Ryan Tannehill is number 4 on my list. He's definitely improved tremendously.
Yeah, 100%. And the reason why I have Aaron Rodgers as number 4 is because if you don't have Aaron Rodgers on that team, in my honest opinion, that team is not 5-2. That team is 3-4. Okay, if Aaron Rodgers, or even 2-5, if Aaron Rodgers is not on this team. Okay, Justin, you're going to criticize me all you can about having Adam Rodgers maybe as number 4, but Adam Rodgers is. If you watched that game yesterday with Minnesota, that wasn't on him. That was on his defense. Okay, he was throwing. He really doesn't have a lot of people on his team except for Devontae Adams in the first place. He has no Aaron Jones. You have Jamal Williams, who's a pretty good running back, but he's not Aaron Jones. Okay, simple as that. He's not Aaron Jones. You have Valdez Schmetz on your team. You have all these no names, St. Thomas on your team. You have all these no names on the team, and yet your team is still 5-2. And Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, and I really think he's putting that Packers team on his back. And that's why I think Aaron Rodgers is number 4 right now. And listen, you could say whatever you want. He only has freaking 3 interceptions the entire year through 8 games. All right, 3 interceptions. He threw 3. There's a reason why he keeps throwing touchdowns to Devontae Adams is because he can't trust anybody else. So that's why Adam Rodgers to me is number 4. Okay. Number 3. Who's your number 3, Boog?
Aaron Rodgers. For everything you just said.
Tom Brady.
You're definitely, like I said, Devontae Adams is definitely an animal. So you can't take that away from him. And let's not forget, Jamal Williams, the backup running back, has been playing like an animal. Like, have you seen what this guy's been doing since he started playing? What, the last 2-3 weeks?
Last 2 weeks, yeah. Aaron Jones was out for 2 weeks. Yeah.
He's even catching out the backfield. So he's not just running; he's catching passes for Aaron Rodgers as a safety net. So, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is definitely, he's the guy on the Packers. Like he's been his whole career. Like obviously his defense failed him, but like I said, I know Justin usually says that he doesn't show up for big games and everything, but this year he's been playing phenomenal. So I mean, outside of that one atrocious game that he played, he's had a great season. So I definitely have him as number 3.
My 3 is Tom Brady, and my reasoning for that is that if Tom Brady has shown anything, it's that he didn't need Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick needs Tom Brady. Okay. Tom Brady, yes, he got a shit ton of people to join the Bucks. to help him make a leap. But you know what? When you're Tom Brady, you get that. Okay, you get Gronk to come to the Buccaneers to help your team win. You get Chris Godwin to change his number for you so that he can try to win a Super Bowl. You get Mike Evans hopefully starting to play more as a team player to freaking to just to be unselfish. Tom Brady, if he's not on that team is not 5-2 like they are now. They're going to be 6-2 after tonight too. But
you know, if Chris Godwin didn't give up that number, he'd probably get cut, right? So I don't know what that
exactly.
I don't know what that argument is.
Right. Tom Brady, listen, Tom Brady has shown that as long as he doesn't get rushed, he doesn't need to run. He finds open holes. There's a reason why he's won 6 Super Bowls. He is the GOAT, in my opinion. He deserves a number 3 spot. But there's a reason why Boogie and I haven't mentioned probably the top 2 people, and that's because they are well more deserving of the top 2 spots of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. So, Boogie, who is your number 2?
Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. Same here.
Pat
Mahomes is number 2.
I think he has like the least interceptions in the league percentage-wise. So I mean, the dude is playing, man. He got that ring on his belt now, so now he's in the cruise.
He's staying up on that level, man. Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. I mean,
there's nobody really. I mean, like I said, the Steelers look strong. They're undefeated. They're playing good team football. But that Chiefs team is unbelievable, bro. Like,
yeah, they're so.
They
good.
don't even have trap games, as you can see with the Jets. That was a trap game right there, and they annihilated them. So right there, that tells you they're focused. They're ready. They're ready for that second ring. So let's see what happens. But I got Mahomes number 2.
Everything you said is exactly the same thing I was going to say. He makes all of his other players better. I mean, look at yesterday. He made freaking Hartman yesterday for 100 yards. He threw for 100 yards to Hartman yesterday. These no-name guys just throwing to because he just finds open holes for them. And as long as they're running their routes, Patrick Mahomes is going to find you. And if you know what, if you can't find anybody, he's just going to run and beat you.
Right.
Simple as that. And then obviously number 1
is the guy I've been trying to tell you all season.
Russell Wilson is your number 1. Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen,
MVP.
He's your MVP this year so far. Probably
22 touchdowns.
Probably the most underrated quarterback, I want to say, the last 10 years, because I don't think he gets enough credit. The guy won a Super Bowl 6-7 years ago, and people talk to him as if he hasn't won shit. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
You want to know why? Because that year that they won the Super Bowl, that was all defense. The same reason why they try to clown Eli on his rings, because he had a great defensive team. That Seattle defense was amazing.
No, they were really good. I know.
Amazing.
They were really good.
And then they had Marshawn Lynch. Like, they had such a good team. Like, that was a good team. But yeah. I'm not one of the people that discredits Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? He made clutch passes back then, but now he's like 10 times better quarterback now than he was then.
It seems like he got better, which is crazy.
He's scary now. Yeah, he's scary now.
And especially you have young kids like DK Metcalf on your team who, I mean, did you see him running chasing that Cardinals defender? He ran.
That's become a meme.
That's a meme now. Right. It's a freaking meme. It's crazy. Yeah. He has talent on his team.
He's making Lockett look like an animal. Like, it's crazy.
No, he's just so good. He's just so good.
He's good.
And I wouldn't be surprised. To be honest, I would love to see, because I don't think the Chiefs defense is that great. And Seattle has the worst receiving defense in the league. I would love to see a Seattle versus Chiefs Super Bowl, just for the simple fact of how many times they're all going to throw on each other and like how many passes. I would love to see that. But like I said,
might.
Right, you just might, right. But I would love to see, honestly, like I said last week, Titans against the Cardinals. Like, that's just like my hopeful, but I mean, that's not going to happen. It's probably going to be Chiefs Seahawks. I mean, let's just be realistic about that. All right, so that's our top 10 quarterbacks. We do have a question from Chris. Chris wanted to talk about the UFC fight on Saturday with Khabib. So, Boogie, did you watch the fight at all?
I actually didn't know.
Okay, so Khabib, I didn't think he was going to be as ready for this fight because we haven't seen him fight in so long, but he has so much heart. And I hate to say this about Khabib, but Man, the guy's a beast, man. And I was always like, when he had that feud with Conor McGregor, I really thought, like, I really was on Conor's side for that whole thing. And like, especially after Khabib got, like, after he beat Conor and he went into the fans and he tried to beat up their coaches and, like, but like Khabib yesterday, like, I saw Saturday, showed that, like, he has a lot of heart. He's a very family oriented guy. And he said he's retiring because his dad just passed away, and he promised that he wouldn't he wouldn't fight without his dad. So,
Right.
do you see Khabib actually retiring, or is this just like a publicity stunt for Khabib? Like, what do you think?
It all depends. Like when you start talking about fighters in this type of event, these guys, they arrive and they leave. So honestly, I don't know. Like he had a tremendous win this week, that weekend. So he might just leave. Like if he's saying his father is the reason why he's even fighting, then you have to believe him, because a lot of these
Yeah,
guys, it's a dangerous sport, bro. So I mean, if he got no other drive, then why fight? I mean,
yeah,
I've seen great fighters just keep fighting and they have nothing to fight for, and then they end up getting mauled in the ring. So
right.
I think he could be done. Maybe sometime down the line he might find another reason to arrive back, but at this point he's probably done.
Yeah,
I mean, it's unfortunate, but he's probably done.
he's 29-0, and I don't know if that bothers
Unless
you.
they throw him the money, that might motivate
That's
him
exactly what I'm
to
saying. Like,
do
if there's a
something else.
Connor
Right.
and Khabib too, I could see him coming back for that, and, like, him praying to his dad, listen, I can't pass up $100 million. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. So I could totally see that happening.
Well, he's
Um,
definitely going to get offered a lot of money now. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah,
So
right.
that might be the motivation he might need, that extra push.
The fact that
So,
he's 29-0 though really bothers me. Like number wise, like, you're one away from 30, bro. Just go do it. You know what I mean? Like it's a prime number too. It's just like, I don't know, but it gives me OCD knowing that he's retiring at 29-0. I mean,
right.
I don't know. I don't know. But okay, if we don't have any more questions, we are past our hour for the show today, episode 5. I want to thank everybody for coming down today, and Boog, once again,
I
very
want
successful
everybody to
show,
tune into the Giants game that's about to arrive on, so
right?
we can watch who loses $10 to me. But I hope I do lose the $10 because I want the Giants to win. But if they're not going to win, then at least lose by more than
13,
the spread.
13 and a half,
So
right?
so Lou could
20
pay me.
to 13. Tampa Bay
Is it still
Buccaneers
is it
tonight.
still 13 and a half?
I think it's 13 and a half. Yeah.
It's still 13 and a half? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to owe me
We're
$10.
definitely losing by more than 2 touchdowns. But
Right. Exactly.
I
I don't
want
think
us
we
to win
are. I
though.
really don't
Giants
think we
fans, I
are.
want us to win.
20 to 13, Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll talk
Yes.
about Carmelo Anthony next week when we find out some more information on him, and then we'll go from there. But thank you guys once again for episode 5. Next week, we're going to have a guest on the show. Until next week, guys, thank you very much, and talk to you next week. Oh, and be careful tomorrow with the election, guys. Please don't. We don't know what's going to happen with that. Be safe out there. Don't do anything stupid. That's all I gotta say. But again,
Peace.
until next week, Boog. Thank you guys very
Yes, sir.
much. Have a good night.